Hi, teacher. Today we are going to talk a little about the context of learning English. Learning English is a topic of great importance today, since English has become a global language and is essential for communication in many fields, such as business, science, and technology. Therefore, the educational systems of institutions from different countries have managed to integrate English as a language worldwide at the different educational levels with the intention of training international competent professionals.
English is a West German language originating from the Anglo-Saxon language brought to Britain by the German invaders. The expansion of the English language through the war begins with the English colonization in North America during the reign of Elizabeth and James I. Shakespeare fears that literary works appear in important invaders such as the printing press that helped this language spread. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Magister. My name is Emily Ramirez, and I will explain about the history of the English language from its beginnings to the present. The first phrase in the year 400 it had begun with the invasion of Germanic invaders to the island of Britannia, which consisted of the English who spoke different Germanic dialects and after several years founded 7 kingdoms. The second phrase corresponds to Old English, where the language was Germanic dialects spoken by Anglo-Saxons. Also heard there were Nordic invasions, that is, Vikings, who implement words, for example, skite, that meaning cielo. In 1500, after what was explained, French words began to emerge in the north, and it is also that the romancing there was a borrowing on Latin and Greek words. The fourth phrase in 1800 is appearing the great reader William Shakespeare. Did you know that he incorporated more than 2,000 words and phrases into the English language? For example, the word elbow. In addition, and this time the people in English increased. Nowadays, or in this period, there was an expansion of the English language to the British colonies such as Australia, United States, Canada, and India. Among others. And finally, the advancement of technology allowed new words to enter English literature, such as the word Google. In the year 2000, that is to say in the 20th century, educated speakers in the United Kingdom pronounce according to what scholars say pronunciations. Give all of the above, we can come to the conclusion that English is constantly changing. If we are starting to learn English, it is one of the best decisions since it opens many jobs, many opportunities for you, and it's even easier than Spanish because it makes more sense and flexible.
England from the 5th century to 11th century after Greece, where will a mix of Germanic dialects created, thanks to the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes who swept into the British Islands. Before that epic invasion, the language England was like a fusion to the Latin and Celtic language. But wait, here is the plot twist. The Celtic influence on Old English was a pretty mellow, with only a handful of Celtic words managing to stick around. However, if you wander through the landscape of England, you will find lots of places, rivers names that still rock Celtic vibes. Now fast forward to when Brittany entered the scene in 597 after Christ, thanks to the San Augustine. more Latin words, especially those hanging out with the churches and ceremonies. In the late 9th century after Christ, the Danes and Vikings decided to make their grand entrance. Their Old Norse language, with some serious Germanic roots like Old English, dropped some epic words into the mix. Words about everyday life and social stuff. This Norse inspired word is still kicking in English today. Sky, egg, steel, skiing, anger, flood, old, husband, windows, and so many more. And even without this language influence heart, Old English had its own unique literary swagger. Take the legendary poem Beowulf, a 1,000 years old masterpiece with over 3,000 lines. Who wrote it? Dude, nobody knows. It is a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
The Middle English. The English spoken in England from 1066 to the end 47. Its main characteristic is that a difficult language to define or delimit, such is that changed over time. During the period of change due to the invasion, French was the official language of the kingdom and the Latin official language of the church. Um, so English lost prestige. Okay. After the Coaster, English acquired much lexicon, which French and English, the Christian began to deserve, becoming a more analytical language. In the rivalry between England and France.
The Modern English. The Modern English developed after William Caxton established the first printing press in England in 1476. During the beginning of Modern English, three major events occurred: the Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, and the British colonialism. It was during the English Renaissance, with some difference in vocabulary, texts from the early 17th century, such as the works of William Shakespeare and the King James Bible, are considered the Shakespearean age or the Elizabethan age. English was adopted in regions around the world such as Anglo-America, the Indian subcontinent, Africa, Australia, and New Zealand, through colonization by the British Empire. The start of the Industrial Revolution affected language development, as it had to invent the new words of modify existing ones to cope with a rapid technological change.
Now we will talking about what is the most difficult English to learn. Accent is one of the most demanding due to its strong intonation, the peculiarities of the dialect, together with the speed of the speech of some people, will probably be the most difficult. Well, the second is the Scotland accent. It's a film dialect and that usually falls in love with those who listen to it and begin to master it. The other is it's very interesting and very different from other scenes. This is the Rastafarian language. It's much easier to learn than Jamaican because some words are similar to English. Finally, we will talking about the English fact you probably didn't know. The number one, the English alphabet has only 26 letters but 44 different sounds. The number two, in English, there are words that are pronounced exactly the same but not have any letters in common. And the number three, there are only two words in English that end in angry and hungry. Perhaps it is the reason why many English students confuse them. Thank you very much.
Conclusion. Currently, English is the language for excellence in the world to relations, which in the case that I will continue to spread in the future. English was spread throughout of the world by sailors, merchants, missionaries of the British Empire. In the world, the English has revolutionated. It has had a great impact. And lately, it has been of great help at social, economic, and academic level.